first book I read was The Three Body Problem, 25 books that I want to read in 2025. Some of the stories were really great, others were misses for me. Hey guys, it's Caitlin. Welcome to my channel. Today I just wanted to do a bookish day with you guys. So I want to do my January wrap up. I want to show you guys and kind of complete, because I'm still working on it, my digital reading journal. That is what we have on the agenda today. But I wanted to first start off with my January wrap up. I read 4 books, and honestly I just didn't think that could be a whole video on its own, so I wanted to do it here. But as I said, I read 4 books and I'll go in order. So the first book I read was The Three Body Problem. I absolutely loved this. I had pretty high expectations for this because it is a sci-fi novel, and that's a genre I've been loving recently. I also did watch the Netflix series when it came out and I really enjoyed it. And I think watching that actually helped me visualize a lot of what was going on in here, because there's a lot. There's virtual reality, there's technology that hasn't been invented in the real world. I really enjoyed Ye's character. We followed 2 main characters, Ye and Wang, and I definitely liked Ye more. I feel like her storyline was really fleshed out, and we saw how she grew up, how she was a child, and how it got her to where she is as now an elderly woman. Wang, I didn't really care for. I feel like anyone could have taken his place. I feel like his only special thing about him is he was working on this nanotechnology, which I also, okay, I think this is a personal problem, but there are 2 things, one being the nanotechnology and then the other being the Sophon. I feel like these things were purposefully developed to push the story along, and I understand that this is science fiction. It is normal to create things that don't exist in real life, but for some reason, especially with the nanotechnology, I feel like it serves no other purpose than to push the story along in a certain way, and it just kind of stood out to me and I guess it bothered me a bit. I don't know. I feel like I'm so critical of books sometimes, and I always think why do I get to have an opinion on this? But I just wanted to point it out because it really did stand out to me. But I really enjoyed this book. I think this is the first series that I'm actually going to continue because I loved it so much. The next book I read is actually a play, and that is Faust by Goethe. I've had this on my TBR for so long, and I actually read this in my 24-hour reading challenge, so I'm not going to talk too much about this, but this is a really old play about good and evil, and of course good prevails in the end. I really enjoyed this, and I hope to read Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe somewhat soon because this was so fun, so good. I loved it. Next, I finished Summer by Edith Wharton. I also love this. I had a pretty good reading month. I didn't love Charity, that is our main character. I didn't love her personality, but I really liked the storyline, and on the back it says Wharton captures beautifully the urges and failures of human nature, and I think that is the perfect way to describe Summer. It's so heartbreaking, but it's very realistic in my opinion. Lastly, I finished Alexander Pushkin's The Captain's Daughter and Other Stories. I gave an pretty in-depth review in my last video about this. I thought some of the stories were really great, others were misses for me. I think my favorites in here were The Queen of Spades, The Captain's Daughter, Mistress to Maid, and The Snowstorm. So I really enjoyed those. I really enjoyed spending some time with Pushkin and getting to know him. I think his humor is so reminiscent of Gogol, and I can definitely see where Gogol and Dostoevsky took inspiration from. So that is my quick little January wrap up. Hey guys, it's much later, like hours and hours later. I'm now in my pajamas. I feel like I wear this sweater in every video because it is so cozy, and it's getting dark out. I have been working on my reading journal for the majority of this time. It's genuinely been taking me forever, but I have been having fun making it. And I decided to do a digital reading journal because I'm not great at drawing. I'm not super creative. It still has a long way to go, I think, but I'm really loving how it looks so far. So I figured I could do a little flip through and fill in some of the pages for January. Okay guys, so I'm gonna start screen recording. I've made this digital reading journal on GoodNotes, if you're wondering, and I think the cover is actually my favorite part. So here we go. Okay, so this is my reading journal. As you can see, I took the cover from a Penguin Classic. I love Penguin Classics. They make up such a large portion of my little library. Although I don't have any of these editions with the orange or any of the other colors for that matter. I mostly just have these. But I would love to have one of these, so I made it the cover of my reading journal. Next, we have the 25 books that I want to read in 2025. Now, I don't think this spread is really done. I have all the books that I want here, but I don't love the title. I just kind of put in all the books and sized them and was like, I want to be done with this. So I thought we could go through all of these and even check off some books that I've already read. The first two books on here are both by Jane Austen. I have Emma and Sense and Sensibility, and I will be reading Sense and Sensibility this month in February, so I'll finally get to check that off. Next on the list, we have The Brothers Karamazov by Dostoevsky. I'm not going to even talk about this one because this is such a moment for me and I'm so excited to read this. Next is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Then I have War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I have The Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and yes, I realize how long all of these books are. I'm trying not to focus on it, so let's just keep moving. Then I have The Village of Stepanchikovo by Dostoevsky. I've had this on my shelf for a little over a year now, so I feel like I need to take it off. Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I haven't bought this yet because I specifically want the UK edition and I'm struggling to get it, but I really want to read this. I haven't read a Sally Rooney yet, so I'm excited for this one. Next is The Three-Body Problem, which I did read this January, so I am gonna check it off. And I might fix my check marks later. I might make them look cute, but I just want to keep this video moving along. Next, I have Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. If you've been watching my channel for the past few months, you'll know I've been so into sci-fi and now I kind of want to get into fantasy. So I thought, why not Game of Thrones? Next, I have The Outline by Rachel Cusk, My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, Goethe's Faust, which I also read in January. I have The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This will, of course, be a reread. I want to read this year because it's 100 years since The Great Gatsby has been published. So I thought this would be such a great time to revisit this classic. Next, I have The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. This is the first book that I ever added to my Goodreads account. I don't know why. I think I wanted to read it because I wanted to seem smart. Because what was like 15 or 16-year-old me doing wanting to read this? But I'm gonna do what she wants. I'm gonna satisfy what teenage Caitlin wanted to do. The next book I have on here, I'm not like very committed to reading this, but I'm more committed to reading a Fitzcarraldo edition. Those are all the super pretty bright blue books that you probably see on Pinterest or Instagram. The one I have on here is titled The Possessed, and it's by a Polish author, so I figured I just keep it in the Eastern European family, but I'm not sure if that's the one I'm gonna go with. On to the next page, I have East of Eden by John Steinbeck. This is another book that I've had forever, and I actually need to buy a new copy because mine has mold, unfortunately. Then I have Orbital by Samantha Harvey. I have Playground by Richard Powers. Tender is the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I was also prompted to read this because it's been 100 years since The Great Gatsby, and I realized I never read another Fitzgerald other than The Great Gatsby, and I started it yesterday and I'm loving it. I'm 65 pages in and all I want to do is sit and read this book. Another book that I'm currently reading is Bleak House by Charles Dickens. I don't think this book is ever gonna leave me. I haven't made too much progress since my last video. Next, I want to reread Othello. I'm actually going to see Othello on Broadway at the end of April, and I'm so unbelievably excited. That is my favorite Shakespeare play of all time. I want to reread it before I go watch it. And then I have 3 just not like specific books, but genres that I want to read. I want to read a play, I want to read a poetry collection, and a nonfiction book. So those are my 25 books for 2025. I definitely think I can hit most of these. I do have a lot of very long books on here though, so we'll see how it goes. Next, I have the A to Z challenge. I love this spread and just this idea. So every time I read a book, I'm gonna fill in the letter that it starts with. And this challenge, it seems like it starts really easy, but as you go on throughout the year, it gets a lot harder. So I thought we could just quickly fill this in together. Okay, well, I read Faust, so I'll add that in there. The Three-Body Problem. I read Summer. And then I read The Captain's Daughter and Other Stories, but I'm not going to count that because I don't want to omit the in The Captain's Daughter and put it for C. So I'm just going to omit that for now, but I did read 4 books in January. Okay guys, I moved you over just a little bit because it's getting so dark. I have this A to Z challenge and I added this cute little like dictionary little page in the bottom corner. I thought that was so cute. This next spread is dramatic, okay? I did the most with this because I probably won't be editing it a lot, but here we go. I hope you like it. Isn't that so cool? I don't read a lot of series, but I wanted to make a series tracker because in December last year, I read Beartown, and then in January, I read The Three-Body Problem. So I thought I'd make a little series tracker. I think it's really cute. And as you can see, I added this little like penguin illustration just to keep with the penguin theme of this journal. And I'm gonna fill these in really quick. The first circles of these really quickly. But yeah, I thought this was a really cool idea. And I think you can tell as I was creating this, like I got more creative over time, which is what I wanted. I was genuinely having so much fun, but I really wanted to finish making this video today so I can keep reading Tender is the Night, I won't lie. Next page is just my January spread, and I get all these pictures off of Pinterest, so I just looked up like cute winter drawings and this came up, and it doesn't have anything to do with what I read in January, but I thought it was so precious. So I just picked a photo, typed January on it, and we'll keep it moving. This was my TBR for January. I can't believe I thought I would read 7 books in 1 month. I didn't quite hit that, but I read 4. So as I said, I read Goethe's Faust, The Three-Body Problem, which I put a little like party emoji next to it because it was my favorite book that I read this past month. I have Summer by Edith Wharton and The Captain's Daughter and Other Stories by Alexander Pushkin. I am reading Bleak House by Dickens, but I'm nowhere near close to being done. And then the 2 books I didn't get to are Brave New World by Aldous Huxley and Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. And I just kept this spread really simple. I wasn't really sure what else to do for January. Okay, this is the last time we're moving, I swear, and that's because I'm gonna say goodbye to you all. I hope you liked this video. I know it was a bit disjointed and didn't flow perfectly, but that was kind of the point. I wanted to post these little bookish things and they just don't make singular videos. So I hope you don't mind that it was a little all over the place. I hope you liked my reading journal. Let me know if you're keeping one. I feel like they're getting more and more popular. And let me know if there are any other spreads that you want me to do or that you do yourself and you really love, because I've kind of just been getting ideas from Pinterest and other booktubers, and I honestly just like had a lot of fun today making that. But if you stayed until the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!